You're excited to play MegaMan StarForce online again, but you likely forgot how insane its online modes make the game when you play it solo. I'm not talking about BrotherBands, Link Power, or favorite cards. I'm talking about features where playing with other people actually makes your attacks stronger in-game, but doesn't affect them at all online. There's two features we're going to discuss, one in MegaMan StarForce 2 and 3, and another in MegaMan StarForce 1. So drink some water, do your stretches, and let's get started. When MegaMan StarForce 2 and MegaMan StarForce 3 first came out on the Nintendo DS, they were the only Mega Man games that allowed you to fight players online, but they also had another overlooked feature. After you finish your online session, your cards actually powered up. The way this worked was by winning online battles. After every victory against a real player, a hidden counter would go up by 1. When you disconnected from the internet and returned to the in-game menus, you'd be told that your cards gained a certain number of stars, called attack stars. You'd gain 1 star for each battle you won online, and they don't have to be consecutive either, just overall. They capped at 6 stars, and if you managed to get that many, your folder will become nearly unstoppable. The actual power boost you gained depended on the card itself. Most of them had a modest boost with lower stars, but the higher star amounts start to become borderline insane, especially with multi-hit attacks. To showcase this, let's take Cannon, one of the first cards you get in the game. With 1 star, it gained an additional 10 attack power, but with 6 stars, it gained an additional 80. That means its power tripled. And these stars apply not just to Cannon, but to every non-Mega and non-Giga card in your folder. This means that typically weak cards like Plasma Gun and Sword would gain power that rivaled other stronger, superior cards in the series. And then there's multi-hitting attacks, such as Mad Vulcan, Squall, and Voltigei. These cards were already good on paper, but the stars could boost their power to obscene levels. For example, Mad Vulcan 3 fires 12 shots that deal 10 damage each. When boosted to 6 stars, each shot now deals 50 damage, meaning 600 damage in total. Squall 3 and Voltigei 3 are equally as strong. Squall 3 can jump to 30 damage per hit to 60, and potentially deal 360 damage at once. Voltigei 3 normally strikes 3 times for 50 damage each, but with a 6-star boost, its base damage becomes 90. That goes from 150 damage to 270. And this attack pierces through defenses like Invis. And remember, that damage listed here is unboosted by other cards' abilities or type advantage. And that's not even considering that you can have multiple copies of the same card in your folder. These boosts were also separate from star cards, which were introduced in MegaMan StarForce 2. Basically, they're cards that already have the attack stars built into them. They range from 1 to 3 stars, and you can only have 3 star cards in your folder. If you do have them in your folder, not only do these cards benefit from the star boost, but so do any cards with the same name, even if they don't have any stars themselves. It does have to be the exact same name, so if you had a Scythe 1 card with 1 star, it wouldn't power up any Scythe 2 or Scythe 3 stars. It only power up other copies of Scythe 1. This was why online attack stars were so powerful. In a normal situation, you'd only be able to power up 3 different cards at maximum, and only to level 3 in most cases, unless you decided to use multiple copies of the same star card. But by winning online, you could power up all of your standard cards to level 6. This is much quicker than searching for star cards, because star cards are insanely rare. You could usually only find them by defeating G-viruses or using card traders, although there are a few you can obtain in other ways, and in some ways make it easier to find them. But in any case, the boost that these stars give you, whether you get them online or through star cards, is undeniably strong. As you might guess, there are some trade-offs. The attack stars you gained through online battles only lasted during your current play session. As soon as the game was reset, whether by shutting it off manually or by getting a game over, you'd lose the star boost and you'd have to fight online again to regain them. But like we said, these attack stars would apply to your whole folder and can go up to 6 stars. Meanwhile, star cards are collectibles, which means they have value outside of simple power. You can only have 3 of them in your folder in total, and their stars cap at 3. So if you wanted to get to 6 stars, you'd have to use up at least 2 of your star card quota to do that. But in exchange, you'd be able to use them online and didn't have to worry about resetting the game. But if you were trying to delete a boss quickly to max out its SP card's power, the online attack star boost was the way to do it. I say was because this feature hasn't been available to the average person since the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection shut down in May of 2014. So hopefully the MegaMan StarForce Legacy Collection brings this feature back, but in case it doesn't, star cards may be the method of choice for the average person. The other feature from MegaMan StarForce 1 is still available on the DS versions today, and you don't need the internet to use it. Actually, you can't use the internet to use it, because it was only through local play. StarForce 1 has a system called On Air that allows you to connect to up to 6 other players, but since it was local play, you had to be physically near them for it to work. It might be slightly inconvenient to get 7 people in the same room together, but the benefits are arguably more insane than in StarForce 2 or 3. While you're on air with another player you formed a brother band with, you'll share your libraries and your SP boss records. This is something that was also true for the MegaMan Battle Network series. Basically, your library will fill out to show all the cards you're missing, as long as they're in another player's collection. And when you connect, you'll gain the fastest SP boss records among your group. This basically means that your SP cards will be boosted based upon the fastest record among each player. In other words, say player 1 beat Taurus Fire SP in 5 seconds, and player 2 and 3 beat him in 40 seconds. When they connect, all 3 players will receive player 1's record, and their Taurus Fire SP card will be boosted as if they beat him in 5 seconds themselves. These changes will stay in effect even if you disconnect from your group, so you can search for your missing cards and retain the SP boss records even if you venture out on your own. This is especially helpful for those who are playing different versions, since this was the only way to increase the power of Pegasus Magic SP, Leo Kingdom SP, and Dragon Sky SP, because those bosses are exclusive to their respective versions. But the library and SP record sharing aren't the main draw to this feature, and those aspects are still possible in StarForce 2 and 3 as long as you're able to connect with another player. What makes StarForce 1's on-air system stand out is this. While you're connected on-air with your brothers, you're able to gain share stars. These are the predecessors of the attack stars from StarForce 2 and 3, but they're somehow even easier to access. All you have to do is share the same card in your equipped folder as any of your on-air brothers. That's it. No battles required. Literally just stand next to your brothers and hold the same cards. The number of copies doesn't matter either. The boost remains the same if you have 1 cannon or if you have 4. That's because the boost depends on the number of on-air brothers that have the same card in their folder. So if you and all 6 of your brothers are on air in the same room, and you all have the exact same folder, your entire folder will gain 6 share stars and jump to the level 6 star boost. And I mean your entire folder. Even your mega cards, even your giga cards, even those support cards that don't actually gain the boost from the stars. They all receive the share stars. Some of these cards can get up to 200 additional power, such as the Fox Fu series, Jamming Punch, Giga Mine, and most Giga cards, including all of Pegasus version's Giga cards. And that's just naming a few. Like mentioned earlier, multi-hit attacks gain the highest benefit by far. Jamming Machine Gun goes from dealing 150 damage down 2 rows to dealing 350. Berserker Sword 3 goes from dealing 80 damage per slash to 130 for a total of 390. And the Gatling and Sticky Rain series gain an additional 20 power. That might not seem like a lot, but let's put it this way. They're so strong that the boosts only increase when you have 1, 3, or 5 share stars. But still, Gatling Gun 3 and Sticky Rain 3 can deal up to 300 damage without any additional boosts. Then there's Leo Kingdom GX and Dragon Sky GX, the multi-hitting Giga cards. Unlike the Gatling and Sticky Rain series, these guys do gain more power for every star, not only the odd-numbered ones. At 6 stars, they deal an additional 50 damage. Also, these cards are time freezing, so if they land a hit, every hit will hit. So these cards have potential to deal 1000 damage on their own without any additional boost, and for context, the strongest forms of most bosses in the game barely break 2000 HP. So there must be a catch, right? Unfortunately, yes, there is. The on-air system is more or less confirmed to be removed from the MegaMan StarForce Legacy Collection, but it's for a good reason. Make that a few good reasons. 1. The on-air system really only worked because it was on the Nintendo DS, which had local wireless capabilities. It might still work well on the Switch version, but that means the PC and PlayStation versions would miss out, and that probably wouldn't be fair to them. 2. All other online features were disabled while you were on air with your brothers, so that probably wouldn't work out nowadays. 3. If they tried to implement this feature online, it'd probably be way too strong. Since originally, the only requirement was literally be near your friend, the game would become way too easy when factoring in the other quality of life additions the Legacy Collection already has. And 4, and this one's important, MegaMan StarForce 1 is going to have online battles in the Legacy Collection. This wasn't the case in the original. While you could connect and trade with each other online, actual battles weren't available. I imagine they'll use StarForce 2 and 3's version of the attack star system this time around, assuming that feature is going to return. Or maybe they'll change it up entirely. Even if these features don't make it into the collection, it's still fun to consider how powerful your cards once were. Did you ever get an attack star or share star boost before? Which star cards were you able to collect? Let me know in the comments. Quick shout out to those supporting on Patreon. If you want to see your name in the credits too and learn what else I'm working on, check the link in the description. Like and subscribe for more, and thank you so much for watching.